Yeah, that's what you want.
I mean, Donald Trump could fix his hair. He doesn't want to.
So could have Albert Einstein or
Right.
whoever.
That became his thing, you know? Yeah. And that's not for everyone. I know everyone doesn't want to draw attention. I don't mind. Um,
I started the trade in Merc in my margin account. I was gonna do it last night during the after hours.
let's check Merc.
It's breaking out. Like I had one, two, three, four, five, six, seven tickers. I was debating on which to start a trade in, and it was either Cure, Merc, or Campbell's.
Yeah, I'm in Campbell's, Merc,
But
and
I didn't want to
Hershey.
have all these trades open. Oh, yeah, I just added to Hershey in my buy and hold actually.
It's not bad to have them open as long as you're willing to cut them in times of trouble.
So I was between Cure, SOXL, adding to ADML, Campbell's, Dollar General, but I'm already in that. Lockheed Martin or FCX, because
Look
I
at
was either
TLT. It's setting up, huh? It's above the 5
yeah
now.
yeah. So I was gonna
Trigger.
do Campbell's or Cure because I was like, if utilities is going up and then bonds is gonna go up,
I'm surprised bonds didn't go up with utilities.
right? So I was thinking Cure or Campbell's. Those are both below the 200, but LMT Lockheed Martin's above the 200. But the XLI was breaking out, so in LMT like has two bottoms. So I was thinking maybe, and it's only 30% maintenance. And then I was also looking at FCX, but it was like copper didn't look. It was below the copper. It was below the 5, even though XLB was breaking out.
What did you look at for copper? Dollar sign copper?
Yeah, but it's below the 5, and so I was like, I don't want to rush into FCX just because, as a trade, I'm talking about in my margin account because the XLB is breaking out.
And
But
you can see
oh,
what you're looking at here. There's previous support.
what trade's that?
This is copper,
Oh, okay.
but this is when we want to, like you said, this is when you want to pay attention, right? When you're below the 200.
Yeah, it just
Like,
wasn't above the 5, so I'm
yeah,
like, I'm not putting this as a trade.
yeah, you got
And
time.
then and then Merck, I had Merck or Cure, but because Merck is only 30% maintenance, and then like the distance from Merck to the 200 compared to Cure to the 200, it was like the same price. So if I was like, if I get 5 shares of Cure or Merck, it's the same thing, but Merck's less maintenance.
And Merck is going to hurt you less if there's a big pullback.
Right,
All of
right,
a sudden
right,
at the open.
right. And then, so then I had LMT. I was thinking that one because the XLI was breaking out, and that one was above the 200. But then, but I don't know. I don't know about investing in or doing industrial stock trades right now.
Yeah, here's my problem with this. The previous high, look how close it is. I don't I don't
Yeah.
usually like those setups
Just
where
like utilities, but it's still safe because it's utilities.
yeah, I just don't like the but if we go back and look at the chart, not much of a pullback and then ran up, not much of a pullback and
Yeah.
ran up. So
So,
I could be
so
wrong. Could
the
be
re-
wrong.
the reason why I was thinking LMT because XLP, XLV, and the XOXX they're all below the 200. So yeah, they look like the best deals, but they're not showing strength. Like UTSL is doing well, and that's above the 200. LMT, I mean XLI is above the 200, but still, I was just like, I don't know if war stocks or defense stocks are the move right now. So I literally had either Campbell's or Merck and Cure for a trade.
Let's look at Raytheon.
Because I already have Dollar General in my margin account. So I was like, do I need Campbell's? Like 2 consumer staple trades going? Does it matter?
No, I mean you can be playing a sector. You don't necessarily have to spread them out. Let's look at Campbell's here. Raytheon's trying to break out, but that's a sloping down channel.
Kind of like LMT in a way.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know. Those have had a big move. They're way overvalued. All right, so here's Campbell's. It was underneath the 200. I mean, it's had a hell of a pullback. It's undervalued. I mean, we should easily get to the 48 or 50, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at that. I think this would take a while for Campbell's. If you look over here, started in what, June, there's July, August. So, I mean, this would take 4 months for Campbell.
Right. So I'm saying, like, what if Dollar General takes that long too? Then I'm on two things that's taking fucking forever.
Yeah. Now,
On margin.
obviously, it can move faster. These are just tend to be slow moving stocks, is what I'm trying to say. Let's save this in the MFG trade ideas of the week. All right. So Dollar General. Let's look at that.
Yesterday morning when MSTX went to 220 for like I don't know, I didn't see the chart for how long it lasted, but my trading account was up 112% yesterday morning.
That's
When
pretty good.
Misty hit 220.
Yeah.
The thing was I didn't look because I was like I wasn't planning on trimming it. So I was just expecting it to go up, which it did, but then it went down like 30%. And I was like, shit, does this mean that Bitcoin's coming down? Oh, so I wanted to tell you.
It was ex-dividend day, wasn't it?
Yeah, but not for MSTX. So not for MicroStrategy, period. Like the whole stock opened and that up yesterday. It had a huge bar. Like it was just opened up and closed down like a huge fucking bar. It like MSTX went from 220 to 130. Like, but someone, you know how I told you, someone in the Discord put that they transferred all their spot Bitcoin ETF to MicroStrategy. Someone commented on your Bitcoin note or one of our Substack articles that they converted all of their VU to MicroStrategy. So something is going on, or what people are listening to, or it's just a coincidence, but people are converting shit to MSTR. Like
at the highs.
Like I understand, you know,
At the
maybe
highs.
yeah, but so is the view. Everything's at a high.
But you
But I get what you're
understand,
saying. I get
you
what you're saying.
understand the leap from the S&P 500, if this is your fund, that you're now putting it all into a single stock?
Yeah, so that's why I brought it up. I'm just like, where are people getting this information or idea of doing this?
Bro, I love Michael Saylor. I would never do that because I'm smart.
And then
He could be wrong.
yeah.
He could be committing corporate fraud for all we know. He could be having an adulterous affair with someone who's been stealing. I mean, things happen, bro.
Right.
To good people. Man, I know Michael Saylor, he got me, man. You start talking, man, that dude was telling people to refinance their home, take all the equity out and buy Bitcoin. Now, obviously that looks smart right now, man, but I would never.
That's risky. Because what if
yeah. You can't trade like that your whole life, because if you get it wrong, you're going to blow.
And what if Bitcoin hits 100K and tanks 40%?
I expect it to. I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, going all in on any one thing is not a good strategy. It is if you, I mean, I could rephrase that.
Look at Ford. Look at Ford going for the 200, off 4.8%.
Of course it is. I mean, I knew that. It's a no-brainer. Like, if you get a high-quality dividend stock underneath the 200, they come back.
Gosh is going for the extreme RSI. I closed that shit too soon.
You're still in Ford, right?
No, remember I closed it with you like last week?
Yep. I didn't close it, but you closed it all.
Yeah. You didn't close it.
I didn't know if you closed half or just part.
No, the whole thing.
Okay.
Yeah, obviously.
You're doing that a lot lately, where you just close out the whole thing.
Yeah, I'm all out of fucking whack. Seriously.
You're out of what?
Whack.
Yeah, you got to stop doing that. I've noticed that in Discord too. There's a lot of selling and closing. I don't understand what's all the selling about. I get it, and here's what confuses people, because I teach sometimes one thing, I do another. The reason is I can read the market, social sentiment. Like remember I was saying with crypto, don't sell any. I've been saying that, don't sell any, because we're going parabolic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. The RSI's hit, and and sometimes people aren't used to winning, and all of a sudden you're winning. You're just like, I got to get the money. And
Yeah.
I'm now up 600 and I think it was 680% in Blackstone BX.
Wow.
I haven't trimmed that or done anything in 5 years. So for 5 years, I've done nothing. I just own the stock. It is very difficult for people to do that. They have to do something. They have to trim it. They have to add. They have to cut. And you want to get to where you want to make sure sometimes we feel like if we're doing something, somehow we're going to lift the market. And the real money's made, like in Misty, the real money's made in doing nothing.
Yeah. So obviously I've had no problem before, like cutting things in half.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm swing trading, day
Yeah.
trading, swing trading on margin, like.
And that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it,
And then plus, like, also just having way more money than before, than normal.
But you see what
Just
happens.
cash accounts, yeah.
Even if you have more money than normal, what you tend to do is run that to the max immediately. And then you don't have any money again. No matter how much money you give a trader, they won't have money.
Right.
And they'll
Like
go,
that's.
oh, I wish I had more money. And it's like, as soon as you have more money, you're going to buy shit. You're going to wish you had more money. There's
Yeah.
no
So
end.
like that's where the margin account helps, because you have to keep available to withdraw. So yeah, I just started the Merc trade, so it routed down a bit, and I guess in the after hours last night I added to ECC, just like a drip add, like 25 shares.
Let's pull up Merc. Yeah,
Yeah,
these were
but
pretty
out of
up.
but out of like all the 9 trades I did, like analyze last night, it was Merc or Cure. But I went with Merc because it's 30% maintenance.
And ABBVs, I thought was a decent play. There's so many of these.
Yeah.
Now, where do you plan to get out of this?
Merc to 200.
Yeah. Oh, is that the plan?
Yeah, B&B.
Now you think you got it in you to make it that far?
Yeah. So if this ends up still being a downsloping channel, I'll just double my position on the next one maybe, because I only did 6 shares right now. Because if you
Okay.
look at the XLV and Merc, it's all been downsloping channels.
Right.
But
And
this
they,
breakout looks pretty good, so.
yeah, because they've gotten just retarded cheap, man.
But the XLV, who's to say that this thing on the XLV isn't another downsloping channel? Like on the previous, if you look at the XLV on the previous box, that's when I
Right.
got Nakure, and it looked all great, and then I ended up getting out.
Now, did you even think about such things until you started day trading?
No, I was just position trading, really.
Oh, I thought I had Merc up. Here's Merc.
So yeah, like let's say
That's
the XLV doesn't hold here, it just drops again. Well, I'll just add to Merc again. Instead of where if I got in Cure, I would probably close it and get out and wait for the next setup.
and that's the difference right there.
And then
Is
the maintenance.
yeah.
So
The other thing too, there's multiple playbooks inside of the money flow, right? There's the day
yeah,
trading playbook, there's swing trading playbook, there's position trading, and then there's B&B trading. And then buy and hold. What I find people do is they rotate it based on how they're feeling.
yeah, you got to do all of it, but it's hard obviously when you're day trading.
Right. But let's say, well, like with Ford, it's a B&B trade, but then you're like, yeah, I'm out on the B&B thing.
Yeah, because we were looking at the 1 hour and it was looking like it might roll over. and
Right.
so I was like good with my profit.
Right. And we talked about that. I'm like, hey, if you got profit and you're good with it, you can take it.
It was honestly because my position was just too big for my account.
Right.
Because I started with 100 shares, and then you said you had doubled it, so I doubled it. So then it was like 8% of my portfolio. So if it did come down again, I wouldn't really necessarily be able to add to it because my position was already huge.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the B&B, you want to give it room because you're not swing trading. So the
Yeah,
B&B
so this time
could
with
take
Merck,
them.
I just started with 6 instead of like 10.
What is wrong with my internet? Right. So, but I'm wondering, that's an interesting thing. How many people? So we talk B&B. How many people put on the B&B, and then if it goes down, stay with the B&B and actually follow it the way that I teach? I'm
Yeah.
sure some people do religiously, and I just don't hear from them.
Right. They're posting in the B&B channel.
Right.
But for me, yeah, I haven't done as many B&B swing trades as you would think.
Yeah. Well, and I've come to believe that most people don't even quite understand it, because the number of people that post the other day is like, what are we doing with forward? And it's like, well,
So, yeah.
obviously they have not taken time or bothered to learn what the B&B strategy is, which is why we're working on a new book. And I'm not saying, I don't know. Let's say I see this a lot, especially with new people. Let's say you have a swing trade and the swing trade goes really good and you're up really good now. Either one, and you should take your profits and we're going to get out. That's called trading. The trading is you get in a stock, you get out of a stock. It's like flipping houses, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then every once in a while, people go, oh, I'm just going to put this in my buy and hold. We changed. We're not doing trading now. And a lot of times they'll do that with losers. Oh, because they didn't want to take a loss. So they'll just keep it in their buy and hold.
Yeah, no.
That.
Damn, gold's going for the breakout. Like, is this a real breakout though? Because like,
I know, man.
look at that broken family.
I started to buy call options on, or not call options, but futures contracts. But I need to see it close in those moving averages some, because you saw that, the broken family.
Yeah, now the 5's above the 10.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of that anywhere else, the broken family concept?
No.
Right. That's from me. Or the way we do homework. I
No.
mean, yeah. But lately, I feel like a lot of people feel like they came up with that stuff. Let's see.
99,242. Yep. Ford looks great.
Right. I mean, I knew that. This is easy. It's going to tag that, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm the greatest stock picker in the world. Why anybody would get the number of people that get out of some of these. Now, I know why you did, because we were right here and you had too big a position and it's basically back where you got out.
Yeah,
You know,
if it wasn't too big, I would have definitely kept it in.
yeah. But I mean, basically, this is where you got out, maybe 5 cents lower, right? Right around in there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and look, there's not much difference there. We talked about that.
Yeah. It
You can
was gonna be
adjust
like
your target.
$40 difference.
Yeah, you can adjust your target. Um,
And then obviously if it was gonna be like in my position trade account, when it got to the 200, I'd probably sell half instead of closing it like in the margin account.
yeah, I don't like your chart at all compared to Merck. I don't
Because
think this runs fast at all. I think we got
that's
time to wait on
that's what I'm
this.
saying. Look at the XLV. What if it's just a downsloping channel and the breakout in Merck's fake? Even though it looks good.
Yeah.
You see, like, the last one is when I got in cure and then I got stopped out. Now here we're back. But this time at least we're below the 200. But look, it could still keep going lower.
Yeah, and if I got in this, let's say we got in yesterday, wouldn't you fully anticipate maybe it comes back around here, and this takes a minute to develop?
Yeah, because
I
there's still space.
mean, if you look over here, same thing. It ran up and then it kind of pulls back. So if you did get into some of these, I would not have a full position right here. I would fully anticipate this floats around for a minute.
Yeah, so that's why I only got in half a position in Merck, just in case. Oh,
Right.
just so I could add more on the next one.
And that takes time, right? That's just finessing the trade, kind of knowing the
Yeah,
flow.
because the XLV went extreme on the last stage one, but now we got a way better extreme bottom here. But if you look at the weekly, the MACD histogram still pointing down.
Yeah.
But this week's bar is closing, but higher than last week's on the weekly.
On what are we looking at?
The XLV.
Okay, let's
I
pull
was
up.
just like the MACD's still pointing down. So obviously it could still keep going lower.
It could, and then
But
basically
but
what she's saying is the long term, we would need more bars to turn this MACD, right?
right, so we're not necessarily waiting that long.
Yeah, it
Because
would.
we might miss
Yeah,
if this is it, we would miss the perfect breakout.
right. But we need to be
In
aware.
Merck. Yeah,
Right.
because
And
Merck's breaking out, but XLV is not.
so if you combine all of that, that's what I call time continuity. She's looking at that. And then you look at this big stretch here with the broken family. And you notice there's no sideways movement.
Yeah, it's just down and up.
Yeah, down and up. That is not the setup that I like. It can do that. I call those a V bottom. I mean, and you're usually going to chase that trade, and you're usually not going to have as much on if you trade the way I trade,
Mm-hmm.
because there's no way I'm putting a full position on here. I fully anticipate it comes down and builds out a stage. But if it doesn't, okay, whatever. You just don't get as big a position. What about Pfizer? That damn thing. Oh yeah, look at that.
Okay.
But see, I like this on Pfizer. We had 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, 4 bar, 5 bar.
And Merck has 2 dojis.
Right. So this bottom, I mean, we were already talking about it, was pretty obvious.
Yeah, you could add to Pfizer too.
Yeah. And really, man, if you were watching, I don't know how fast it moved to this. You could, one thing you can do, sometimes people tell me they can't trade because they're working. And it's like, bro, when you got home yesterday, you could have said, okay, put a limit order at 25.30,
Yeah, like yesterday we were day trading. So from 5 to 7, I was looking to what orders I could put in the after hours at least.
Right. Right. Because sometimes people think, well, they can't swing trade because they can't watch the charts. And it's like, bro, I day trade. I'm not watching all those other charts. I look at those other charts at night after work. And then you can put in limit orders. Speaking of which, I picked up some of those. They're very small. Hold on.
Biggie?
Yeah, I picked up that.
I don't really get what it's doing.
It's trying to hold they're doing the options thing, but they're trying to be able to catch upside without it being capped,
Okay. Because
And
the other yield max ones are capped.
yeah, you know how they're capped kind of the upside, but they get the full downside, and they have a lot of erosion. So what this thing's trying to do is maybe offset it, from my understanding, trying to offset some of the erosion by having the ability to appreciate with the market. So, if you added when the market's down, in theory, you can fight that erosion. I just picked it up to spread. I think as you get more and more and more money in your account, and if what we're talking about here, me and Jess are talking about the margin dividend. So we day trade, but inside our account, we're holding mostly funds that pay dividends. And then, but because those dividends are so big, there's a lot of erosion. And I think the way we offset that is by swing trading, right? I mean, if you swing trade, you make $300, you kind of just offset $300 of erosion and you still got the dividend, right?
Yeah. And then if you're day trading and profitable, that helps too.
I've been profitable every day this week. Not huge. 140, 280, 312, whatever. Now, this has been if you went back the previous 2 weeks, I was getting my ass handed to me. And then we both took a big hit trying to day trade Tesla.
Yeah, like
the best thing
that
to
was
do.
retarded. That should have we should have been, if that was the case, you should have been in like in the morning when it was going straight up.
Right.
But
And
obviously, trading real money for the first time, obviously I'm gonna want to start trying shit.
yeah, and there's
Like
nothing
what
wrong
you
with
like
that
what
at
you
all.
said, like I don't really style drift, but yeah, now that I'm know how to trade
But
day trade, like it makes you like curious. Oh, I want to check out this stock or.
Yeah, and that's not even style drift because you're basically trading the same thing over other things.
Yeah.
And there's, and we're still trading the same basic concept, the money flow in the 4 stages. And even if you do, say, bar by bar, or you're more patient, we're still doing the same thing within the same family concept. It's not like we're going, oh, this is a binary condor option spread, and I'm going to, we're not doing totally different shit. I don't know how people do that because all of my strategies are very symbiotic. I call that a symbiotic relationship. I always try to look for that making money. So like we publish a newsletter, right? Well, what would go with a newsletter that's different, but it's not so far out in left field? Maybe an ebook, right? That's not, people who read a newsletter are the kind of people who will buy an ebook. And so, but then your ebook needs to kind of be related to what you talk about, right? And it doesn't have to be, if you're talking like you put out your own on health, well, you could maybe you have a recipe book on how to the keto diet, whatever. You see what I'm saying? That
keto diet,
yeah, even though you're talking about diabetes and all these things, you could put in a thing there and it makes sense. It's symbiotic. It kind of makes sense, So day trading lines up with swing trading, which lines up with position trading, which is similar to buy and hold. And so all these things are very similar. I think where you get in trouble is, okay, you're trading shares. Now you're going to go to the Forex market. It's a totally different market, totally different platform.
Yeah. How many times have I asked you about Forex? Never.
Right. Never. But I get asked all the time about it by people. And they go, well, the money flow helped me with Forex. And I'm like, yes, but the truth is nothing will help you with Forex and you will lose all your money. Because I have never, ever met a real professional Forex trader who didn't work for a bank or a fund. I've never met a person that at home who like I'm on vacation, I'm at the beach and I'm like, oh, what do you do? And they go, oh, I'm a Forex trader. No one has ever looked at me and ever said that. I have met real estate people. Oh, me too. I have met people that write. I have met people that own stocks. They trade stocks and dividends. I've met those. It's rare. I've met crypto people. I have never met anyone who looked at me and said, I make all my money with options. I've never met that person. I have met plenty of people who said, oh, during the meme craze, I don't know what we call that, the growth run we had. I don't know what they're referring to that now as, where remember Roku was like $400 or some shit.
That was before I was in the Discord. That was
Yeah.
like the growth craze.
We call that something because ARK was the best fund in the world.
Yeah, that's when I was buying at 150. That's when I was just getting open to my trading account and was trying to follow along and like didn't take the course yet, but I did do the stock charts course. I just
felt
didn't do
bad
the
for you
boot camp
too
yet.
because you came in right at the top.
Like the day after the Ukraine bombing thing.
And I remember you coming in, and there were other people that came in at that time, and then we just went straight the fuck down. And I remember you sent me a screenshot. You'd been in for, I don't know, much, and everything was red. It was
Yeah,
just
it was like
red.
my trading account was like negative 80%.
You had nothing green, even in crypto. Everything you owned
Oh
was red.
yeah, the crypto crashed. I got in the top of crypto too, like May 2021.
And you were like, kind of like,
That's right before it crashed, and then
you were
or it
kind of
started to
asking,
crash.
asking,
Yeah.
is this
So that's
normal?
why when I saw I was green in Doge last week, I was like, what the hell? I've been red in Doge for like 3 years.
Yeah. And of course, if you'd have been aggressively buying stage ones, you'd have been up big time, right?
Yeah, it was up over 200%.
Yeah. Now think about that. If you just steadily bought every stage one in Doge. So
Even
obviously,
$10 on an 8-cent coin.
yeah, there's only so much money to go around, right? But what was cool with that, Rich did the same thing, Vermin. He came in the cycle before you, where we had a massive crash. He was in on the COVID one. He got in right at the top. And he's like, how much should I put in? And what do I always tell people? All of it.
Oh my God.
So he has his life savings in there. You know, he's a tattoo artist. He's not doing the stock market. He's got cash. And I'm like, let's go, man. And it, and then these people are texting you and it's like, and I'm like, you got to have courage. Buy stage ones. Like I'm yelling at people. And inside I'm like, man, I feel bad, but the only thing you can do is stay the course, make money, and buy stage ones. And I remember him calling me on the phone and he says, if I buy stage ones, we're going to be good. And I'm like, man, I can't give you, personal financial advice, but that's what I'm doing. There's no other option. And now he's, big time in the green and very happy. But it was people like that, people like you that honestly kept me going because I felt so bad for everyone that I had to hang in there too, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Because you felt.
I couldn't walk away after keep everyone in, and I was shocked as anyone, man. I'd never seen the market go like that. I'd never in my life seen the stock market fall so fast. I was in shock. It could have been the short of a lifetime, and I didn't take it. I could have. I was going to, and I go, you don't short when the Dow drops 2,000 points. You wait the next day. It's going to come up.
Did you short like some shares?
No, this is how fast it happened. We had a stage 3. I have been buying protection all through this fucking run up with the memes, and it never worked. It just kept going higher. It'd pull back. I'd lose money on the hedge, and it would run up. So when that happened, I was like, fuck hedging, dude.
Damn.
At just the wrong time, man. And then the Dow opened down 2,000. That was the biggest move I'd ever seen in the Dow. And I'm like, tomorrow it's going to pop. It can't. And then we'll get short. It never did. Down, 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 down. And then it was, now we just got to play the long side, man. But a lot of people quit. And that Ukraine, there was a lady that was close to me. She had been in the MFG a long time. And like yourself, they have my ear. They can text me, call me. We become friends. And called me, and she was getting out. Her 180 was now like 85.
Wow.
And she couldn't take it. And I'm like, you have good stocks, Apple, Roku. These were good companies, And she's like, no, because she was from Europe. And she's like, this is going to be like World War III. This is going to spill over because she's
Oh
watching
my God.
news and shit, And I'm like, dude, turn the news off and look for stage ones. And let's start trading and catch some pops. Let's make some money, man. And
Yeah.
pulled it all out, dude. And that was literally the bottom. Like the next day, I mean, she tagged the absolute bottom to get out. And I felt so bad, man. I didn't know what to say. Well, to make matters worse,
Sucks to suck. Just kidding.
well, to have stuck with the money flow for 2 years and then give up on it at the bottom, it's just like, wow, dude. But then she went on a date on a dating site and and put in there, she's into stocks and trading. So it hooked her up with this guy, and he's a professional trader. And he's like, oh, you should be in the VIX. And he was showing her all the money he'd made trading the VIX during the, up and down. And that's true. The VIX will pop, but it rarely does. She put her whole 80 something thousand she had left in the VIX. And that was the high of the VIX. It never looked it because the market turned the next day. The VIX went straight down. The market went straight up, dude. And she turned that into like $12,000. So she got out at 12 grand. So
Wow.
basically she turned 180,000 into 12,000. And then people like Lisa and other, Rich and people like yourself who stayed in bought stage ones, and now they're worth way more than they ever.
Yeah.
And not too long ago, she called me about getting in the market. She was going to buy Bitcoin. Look where we're at.
All-time highs.
And I'm like, bro, you're on the wrong side constantly.
Yeah, and that's what, if you day trade and you're new, you'll finally see that that can happen. Because, like, to us, or like me, I don't see how you can be on the wrong side on the daily. But when you go on the 1 minute, obviously, if you're going to be on the wrong side a bunch of times, and then even when you learn shorting, you're really going to be on the wrong side half the time. Like, sometimes, like, people are like, oh, I feel so bad when it runs without me. But it's like, what if you're short and it's running without you and you're short? That's just even worse.
Right.
Now it's running without you and you have to buy back the shares. That's just worse.
That
So
is
it's like
worse.
not even, it's like being on the wrong side, like doubly on the wrong side. But
Yeah.
you can feel all that in day trading in 1 hour,
And
especially when you first
that's what
started.
they're getting on a daily that me and you don't. I don't get that sense of freak out. And like you don't either. You've told me this is easy on a daily. It's easy to swing trade. But other people can get stressed like that, very easy. It's unfortunate, that's where, and then I felt personally betrayed. And I know that's ridiculous because I put so much time, effort, and energy into helping them just to see them bail out, and then want to come back when the market's at the highs, it's because they're coming back in now that Trump won. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, obviously we're at all-time highs. It's going to go down.
Right. And it's like, yeah, I get in, but let's do it smart this time. I don't know why I'm in this trade. All my effort, I'm only up 140.
Damn.
I thought for sure it was going to say like 280 or something because I made 114 the first 5 minutes that I was trading, and since then I've only made like 20 bucks.
So, do you have the Moderna yield max in your
I did.
in
Let me
your
see. Let me
margin
see.
account? Because right now it's $5, and it pays in 2 weeks.
Well, they're gonna split it.
Obviously, they're gonna do, yeah, the split.
That's because Moderna popped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
I saw someone in the Discord. Their dividend was like $400 on Murny.
oh, did it already pay?
It pays in Group B, which is in 2 weeks.
I
I
used
guess
to.
someone posted it late last week, but it was like $400. I was like, damn, the stock's going straight down, but they're still getting $400.
I think I have it in a cash account. I don't have it in my. Did you see Misty today?
Yeah.
Hold on just a second here. Hold on.
Hasn't gone anywhere. I don't like it.
You don't like the Walgreens weekly chart? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I do think that's going to be a play though, where people are going to look.
Yeah. No, I do. I do. I think the same thing, but I've thought about adding, but I could add a couple drips.
You're in Zim, right?
No.
You got out of that?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to get out of all my picks, man. That thing, the dividends back on.
I know. I heard it's like $3 a share.
It's
Someone,
huge. Man,
yeah.
I was buying that shit for $7. It's now 24. Now, that's what we got to figure out, though.
I just don't like the weekly chart of Walgreens, or else.
Well, it's always going to look bad at the perfect time. You know that,
Well,
right?
the weekly chart, the MACD's been ticking up, but now it's ticking down on the bullish side.
Yeah, that's not good.
That's what I'm saying. So why would I add on the daily? Even though the daily looks good.
I mean, I just don't use the weekly's too far out for me to even look at, honestly. I mean, I'll look at it to see what are possibilities of previous highs and lows, which I've had a lot of people keep doing that with triple leverage funds. I keep trying to explain to them not to do that because you're not getting an accurate thing. You got to go to the regular, right?
Yeah.
This is a dilemma because it really drives me crazy. Like there's plenty of people, they're not in Hanes brands anymore. You know, I'm up 30-something% in Hanes brands. Okay, so for a while it was red on your screen, and that caused people to sell it.
Yeah, now I'm up 21% in Hanes brands.
If you sold Hanes brands and you bought Misty, okay.
Yeah, but what if you sold it and bought Murney? You might not have agreed.
And then there's also, what is the fucking point of me even sharing stocks picks if people aren't going to, if you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Now, it's not my job. I mean, I'm not a personal financial advisor. I just show what I do. I just think it bothers me because a stock goes down is not a fucking reason to sell it. And because the stock goes up is not a fucking reason to sell it. And that drives me crazy. What'd you sell Zim for? What was the reason?
Just got tired of it. Holding it, I guess.
Right. And I mean, I put countless research into that. To the quality of the company, their debt. I even had D researching who's on the board, and one of the largest hedge funds in Israel, one of their best traders, is one of the top shareholders. He didn't sell it. They bought more. So I don't know how to convey that to people. I mean, I can't make them do anything. But why am I spending all the time researching?
I mean, you're still doing it for you, regardless.
I'm doing it for me, but why share it?
Right.
You know? And I know everyone goes through this. I've gone through this.
Yeah, like you have to sell a stock when you shouldn't have, and watch it triple and double and pay a dividend to be like, wow, I should have never sold that. And it has to happen like a couple times for you to finally be like,
right.
I'm not selling this.
But do people think that I just don't know? After 24 years, I'm just fucking retarded. I don't know what I'm doing. Or
No, they
do
just
they
can't.
think they know?
Their emotions are just too much.
Right. Or do they know better? I mean, anybody in Discord thinks they can trade better than me or whatever. We can go head to fuck head. We can have a competition, you know?
So next time we hang out, me and you are going to do a competition?
We can. Anybody in there, any moderators, anybody thinks they know more than me and can do better, we can fucking do it live. We can do it every day. We can do it in front of the world. I mean, however, because I'm the goddamn best stock picker in the world. I believe that. And now I don't run a fund, so I don't have billions of dollars. I'm using my own money. So it takes a while because I'll have kids say, well, if that's true, how come you're not a billionaire? And say, bro, even if you double, it takes a long time when you start with $200, you know? And in honestly, the first 7 years I traded is a complete shit show. I lost money. I mean, after 7 years of trading, I'm basically starting with zero. I lost $70,000. I would go to seminars. I'd buy books. I got to where I was buying books on moon cycles and lining them up with the S&P. That's how desperate I was, you know, to finally just look. And I would look, you know, after 1 year, I just traded my ass off, and I made like $9 grand. And then in my buy and hold, it went up 33%. And I was up like $108,000 doing nothing. And that's when I was like, okay, man. Okay. And then when I would do the money flow, here was the funny thing. So I would do the money flow and I would buy a stock. I get stopped out. I'd switch and I'd trade Facebook and I might make some money and I get out and then I move over here and then I go back and look and in Netflix where I got stopped out and then I jumped into Facebook, it went on a $400 run. So if I stayed with it and bought every breakout, I would have made a lot of money. But I would hop from stock to stock to stock to idea, and every time, a lot of times you're just catching the loser. You might hop to Facebook, catch a loser, hop to this, catch a loser. And then you look back and if you'd have taken the second trade in Facebook, it ran and made you a lot of money.
Yeah. And you get to see that in day trading too. Like you're like, oh, I got stopped out twice. I'm taking a break or whatever.
Yeah.
And it goes without you.
And you've heard me say that. You probably, I don't know. I think maybe you watching a lot of S&B Capital stuff has kind of confirmed some of the stuff that I was saying to you that you were unsure of. Or maybe you're like, I don't know if he's right about this, but not necessarily. I mean, I don't know. Maybe not. But the answer to not trading well is never take a break and do less. That is never the fucking answer.
Yeah,
it's lower your share size down or paper trading. Keep fucking trading.
And another thing, they said lower the time frame. So if you're having issues, you lower your time frame so that you can hyper focus.
Yeah,
on
that's
whatever
rare.
it is you're doing. Yeah, when I heard that, I was like, wow.
Retail traders are often taught to go further out.
That's what Mike was saying that they have them do. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Why do you think they do the hyper focus thing?
Why do you think I try to get everyone to day trade? I don't expect you to be a day trader. I'm trying to accelerate how fast you can see stuff. And I think you'll agree it works, right? Like,
yeah,
your chart reading and whether you continue day trading or not, you're a better trader by doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most people, if they would come spend a week, but here's the thing, nobody's going to, other than me, maybe you, people don't take a vacation to trade. Like take a week off of work to trade.
Yeah, I mean, some people would do that.
Some, but I mean, that is not a common thing. You would probably agree that people are taking breaks off of work, giving up going on vacation.
Yeah, like I would go when I had a job, I would request vacation to go see you.
Right. Well, and look, now your net worth went up. Yeah. You're a much better trader. That's what I'm saying. And yet some people have been with me 4 or 5 years, man. They've been on 12 vacations. They're still trying to figure out a stage one, and it's like, I don't, I'm about to hit this trade here. I don't know. I just spent so much time. And that's one reason I clicked with the day trade professors. We had the same philosophy. If you're going to be a good trader, you have to take a period of time and immerse yourself. And it is the most important thing in your life. Kids come second, wife second, everything is second for a period of time. And it doesn't mean you don't love them. Doesn't mean you're not going to do their shit. It's just like, hey, hold on, I got to do this. And you put that, and you don't have to do it your whole life, just till you get experience and control. Right? I mean, otherwise, you'll never develop it. Your spouse is never going to go in there and, hey, how are those support and resistance lines coming? That is not going to happen.
Yeah, definitely not.
Your mom is not going to be like, hey, how's your trading? I hope you're doing well. They're not going to do that. They're going to encourage you not to trade. They're going to tell you to take a break, man. Relax, man. You got to fucking take a break. That's all people are going to tell you. Go somewhere, stress the fuck out, and you're mad about trading. Watch what they tell you.
Everyone's going to say take a break.
Yeah, and I'm going to tell you, nobody gives a fuck. You need to keep trading. Right? You need to trade more. That's usually my answer, trade more. So the point to all that is if anybody's out there, if you're struggling, one, are you hopping around? Especially day trading. They're trading this, day trading that. And you saw how fast you can lose money day trading a single stock. It can be fast. So day trading an index is a great way to learn. And
yeah, trading an index, you could lose it just as fast too.
You can, but you can, and I guess even on the stock, you could just buy 2 shares, right? You can control your loss by how many shares you're buying. And that's worth, you probably haven't done this, but because you're learning from me. I mean, I have last count was over 500 books on trading in the stock market. And so I've read entire books on managing a portfolio. You want to talk about boring ass reading? Understanding the different sectors and weighting it and when to, a lot of people don't put a lot of time into that stuff. But that's the good stuff, man. Even you subscribe to Barron's?
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people don't. And they're going to read Reddit and stuff. They're going to get all their stock information from free sources, from YouTubers, from Reddit, from Twitter. They're not paying for subscriptions. I spend about $4,000 a year on subscriptions. I don't tell people what they are because some people will go buy everything that I do. I mean, because they want to.
Yeah.
I think you need to evolve into that. I don't want to overload people, but you need to have this. It's too much. Over time, if they ask me, I'll tell them, like I've done with you. I start slowly sharing, like, oh, here's the videos I watch. I don't watch YouTubers like me. I don't believe them. My first thing is I think everyone's lying. I don't believe people. I don't. Most of the ones that I watch, I mean, there's a big difference between SMB Capital and then watching your typical trading YouTuber.
Yeah, of course, obviously.
I don't know if I sent you picking on the professor now. He knows I love him. He's my friend. He had a post on there about, and he asked everyone in the class, who wants less screen time and they want to trade less? Did you see that video of his?
No.
I think I sent it to you. I don't know if you've been on Instagram. I think I sent it last night or yesterday's to one of your Instagram accounts. And basically, if you could make good money but have less screen time, it's like, because they want to condense it. They want to trade like 30 minutes or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone in that room raised their hand.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I would have kicked everyone out of that fucking class. I was disgusted. And I love the professor. I would not teach any of them. I mean, you're completely wasting your time. There is no one doing anything great in 30 minutes a day. Martin Luther King did not march on Washington 30 minutes a day. Warren Buffett doesn't spend, there's no professional trader in the world that spends 30 minutes a day. That is a fucking YouTube fantasy.
Yeah.
And then in the comments, people were like, yeah. Well, he asked them, what would you rather be doing? And it was like, spend time with family. It was all these, what you would expect people to say. Spend time with family, shopping. I'd rather shoot myself than go shopping instead of trading. Like if I ever say I want to go shopping instead of trading, right?
Yeah,
they want to go to the beach. It was all this relaxation. It was gross, man. So professor, that was gross, man. I don't know I can't comprehend it. So I commented on there. I don't want it. I want to trade. I don't understand this not wanting to trade thing. I don't know how you can be good at it. I don't know. I mean, it confines my mind, man. So I say all that to anybody out there listening that now I'm not talking about buy and hold. You could do a buy and hold portfolio on about 30 minutes a day. Yeah. You research your stocks, anything you need to trim, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're going to have to put a little more time in the beginning to learn it. And then after that, maybe 30 minutes. But this fantasy, you're going to day trade and you're going to spend 30 minutes and you're going to turn your computer on, make $300 and then go about your day. That's delusional.
Yeah.
Not to say some days, like today, I was up $114 in the
Yeah.
first 9 minutes. Okay. So if your goal's $100, which is also something I hate when people say, I'm trying to make $100 a day. Well, add a zero. Why not 1,000? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you limit it to? If you can actually make $100 every fucking day, you could add a zero. You know?
Yeah, you just need a higher share size, more money in your account.
Yeah, I don't know. And that's just me. I mean, my lawn care business that I ran, I mowed yards all day. Or I would go and mow 2 or 3 yards. Every yard took more than 30 minutes. So I don't understand this concept. I don't know where it comes from. So I want to dispel that, because I think that does our industry a disservice. It makes it look like it's something that anybody can do. You can just jump in, spin a little. That's not true. And that's why a lot of his students are just dumb as dirt. And I hope none of mine are that way. And I love the professor, so I'm not picking on him. He can do that because he is an amazing trader.
Yeah.
He is. And then when he's not trading, he's teaching trading. So even though he's not trading all day long, he is immersed in trading all day long.
Yeah.
And I think that makes him a better trader in that 30-minute period. He also is taking massive fucking trades.
Yeah, so that's another thing. Do you want to be taking massive trades all day? But if you're by yourself?
No, I don't want to do it by myself. I need people with me. I'm trying to take trades so goddamn big. I need people there. I need second opinions. I need you telling me what's going on this, because our trades are so fucking big that we can't have mistakes. Like, they're so big, I can pay people to be in there trading with me. That's my goal. I want to take like $1 million day trade. Our swings are 10, 20,000 a day. That's my personal goal, not $100 fucking dollars.
Yeah.
I hear that shit. That's people that's low confidence is what that is. They're afraid to say a higher number because they know if they say a higher number, they're going to have to commit more. But I don't know, man. I also get mad at the people saying they invest $500 a month. I mean, I don't even know what that is. But I'm doing something different than them, so it's not fair necessarily. Not everybody's trying to be do this for a living, I mean, you are. I don't know what your attraction to it was. Was it
the freedom?
All the time off and stuff? Or just the freedom of not being forced to go somewhere?
Yeah, you can just do it wherever you want.
Because it's not, you like to work. It's not that you don't want to work.
You can just work from wherever. You don't have to drive there, report to anybody.
Now, most people, when they say that, they immediately talk about you can do it from the beach. You can do it from a lake. Yeah, you can. But if that's your focus, don't worry about the lake or the beach right now. Let's just execute on some trades, right? Yeah. But it doesn't give you that freedom. Like right now, you and the wife could just take off and you still do your work.
Right.
As long
as
that's
the whole point.
Yeah, I go on trips and I have until noon every day. Deanne knows. Because if we're on a vacation, okay, I have to participate. But you have to understand, I can't just not watch the market. That's not a thing in my world. And I'll be aggravated. I'll be looking on my phone. I'm not going to be fun to be around if you don't let me do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So she always gives me, because she doesn't even like to get up early. So the trading lifestyle is good for her, right? Good for my wife. Once you are doing well enough that your spouse can stay home, she's drinking coffee till 11. She's not even ready to go till noon.
Yeah, it's perfect.
I'm up at 8 and I get 4 hours in. And so that's what it's allowed my family to do. That the money flow has allowed my family to start its day at noon. I mean, how many people are up at 5:30, man?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't even drive anymore. I got in a car and it'd been 6-7 months since I've done an honest drive, like in the car, and it's just nice, man. So that's what it offers. freedom. So you got to know that's going to come at a cost, right? You know, and I want to help people. I want to help Skylar, because I know he wants it, right?
Yeah.
You know, how much do I put into people? You know, I mean,
Yeah, not much.
no, but I'm saying you know that I enjoy helping people.
Not unless they, but unless they have the initiative.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's looking like he does, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
he's been at it. He's been steadily at it. So that's the kind of guy. And I haven't really, obviously I talked to him and I reach out. And today I was going to see if he wanted to jump on and trade the last bit. And that can really help him. Like spending time with me and just trading with me could really help him.
Of course.
Right. And that's the kind of guy I want to help. He's showing commitment. But just because a guy shows up, how much time do I want to put into that person? Especially once they say that, they're doing 30 minutes a day. I mean, I'm done talking to them. But a lot of people want to trade with me. I just try to be very selective in who I do it. Because, I trade a little different than I teach. And I feel like I'm going to show them. I put way more into you than other people. But I felt, I got a return out of that. Like you helped make my trading better. You started helping me and assisted me. And a lot of people, when they look at trading, it's just like, what can I get out of this? It's just this, you know what I mean? It's not what I put back into it. I think trading makes you a better person.
Yeah, it makes you control your emotions.
Yeah, because
learn to control it at least.
Me and you are both very emotional people. We can get very pissed very quick, right?
Yeah.
Anyone that's been around me for any minute of time, I mean, I can flip the fuck out at the slightest thing. Now, I've usually been building and building and building. I'm not like, and then all of a sudden I flip out and it's like, I flip out on something. It's just not that big a deal, but that was the final thing. And we both experienced that with each other. And a lot of people get mad and, I don't get mad. I mean, it happens. I always want people to forgive me. So I try to forgive them. And it's like sports, man. Sports is fucking emotional, dude, man. You know that. You playing hockey, people can have some fucking grudges.
Yeah.
They're mad at that team or that one player. They're going to check that dude.
Yeah, or when you watch like the NBA finals, the other team was literally crying that they lost.
They lost. It's I mean, I've seen fans lose their
cry, yeah.
And they're so invested in it. And in one way I find that cool that you could be so into something. And then here's someone doing trading and I mean, I've cried about trading. I ain't gonna lie. I've cried many a days. I quit all the time. I quit this morning. I did. I was like, fuck this show. I quit. And then I lay there for a while. And then I'm like, let me check on Bitcoin. Right? I mean, you've quit. You've quit day trading a bunch of times. I have too. I bet I've quit day trading fucking a third of the time I'm day trading. I quit. Maybe not a third. It's come down, but at least 10% of the time I'm like, fuck this. Fuck day trading. I'm wasting my goddamn time, right? You know that feeling.
Yeah.
We have a new guy in Discord. I don't know if he'll watch this, but I don't know if you saw him in there asking lots of questions.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very, he ordered a stock charts course. Where is it? When am I going to get it? Everything is fast. And that doesn't work like that, And I was like, patience, grasshopper. You got to wait, man.
Yeah.
And that's the trading game. You got to be patient and fast and patient at the same time. Ready to go, but patient. And that's hard for people. And he was trying to learn everything in there. And it's like, bro, it's going to take a minute. If he's new to trading too.
Yeah.
And I told him it's going to take you 18 months to 2 years. I don't think he liked that answer. And everybody else told him the same thing. It's like, they were all sharing their experience, you know? And it's like, pick a channel that's your natural interest right now,
Yeah.
right? If it's day trading, let's focus on that. If it's buy and hold, get in that channel, you know, start seeing our stocks, start lining it up, and then mess around. Because you can't be a day trader, swing trader, position trader, buy and hold and margin all day one, and you've never seen any of it. That's just not going to happen. And so you have to be patient. What of all of those in a perfect world, let's say your sister, totally out of the blue, comes to you and they got $50,000 and they read something and they know you're into trading and they say, listen, I just want to, what do I do with it? That's not easy, right?
I would start with the dogs of the Dow.
That's what I do.
I wouldn't
And then
necessarily.
they're like, okay, but
They
how do
like
we do?
they you could tell them to spy, but it's at all-time highs. So
Yeah,
I don't know if I tell her to buy that.
but they want to be traders too and active investors. Buying the SPY is not that, right? The
Oh
SPY,
no,
that's
no, no, no.
just
I thought you were saying like
so
just for new people.
right. But yeah, not that new. They've decided to skip that. They want to actively manage. They want to trade. Sometimes they don't even know what they're saying. You know,
Yeah, they
they're
should
saying they want to be
just
investors, but they're talking about trading, and you're trying to figure out what it is they even want, right? So they want
yeah, just
dividends,
be
but they
like,
want
don't
to day
even
trade.
touch that money until you figure out
Is that what you would tell
what you're
them?
doing. Yeah, you don't even know what you're doing. Like,
So
just
you
don't
wouldn't tell them
touch
to
the
put
money.
in all, go ahead and put all 50,000 in. You
No,
try to talk them out
I
of that.
say don't touch the money until you've done some research.
Right. And if you are going to put it in, I mean, I would be confident putting all 50 into the dogs of the Dow, but you need to understand it could come down, right?
Yeah.
And you got to understand their interest. And so there's really no reason to rush money. And you know that the market goes up, market comes down. You got plenty of time. You know, it's and I do the same thing. I explain the dogs. Okay, now you got 10 stocks. But on every one of those stocks, most people know automatically who their competitor is, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if Exxon is in the dogs, everyone knows Chevron, Conoco. Because they'll say, well, I don't know any stocks. Okay. So IBM's in the dogs. I mean, and you can go, do you know any other large tech companies? And they'll be like Cisco, right? If you sit and
Yes.
think on it. Okay. And as you go down the list, they know 50 stocks. They just didn't know they knew them, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So if I say McDonald's, do you know any other fast food restaurants? And it's like, well, yeah, Jack in the Box. Okay, there's a chart for that. You know, Starbucks. So pretty much all of these. And this is the beautiful thing about the dogs of the Dow. We need to do some more articles on it. Is it will open the entire stock market to you. If you look on there and like, who's their three competitors? So now you know 10 stocks plus three competitors. You now have 40 stocks you can follow. You know, and there's
Mm-hmm.
tech, oil. Although the Dow
Materials.
is getting kind of it's all industrial, right? Like it's, which I guess Dow Jones Industrial, that's the name of it, right? Apple, everyone knows Apple, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's a car company in there. And so, but once you know the dogs and you know a few competitors, now you just got to fill holes to create a portfolio that is everything because we don't know what's going to run. And that takes time.
Yeah, for sure. Especially like in the Roth IRAs where you can only put 6,000 or 7,000.
That's a dilemma, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's still worth doing. You just put 500 in each stock. And as you keep adding, now you're going to trim on stage threes, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times they'll say, well, it's already on a stage three. Should I buy it? And it's like, yeah, but don't buy as much. But yeah, so if you're putting $500 in stage ones, maybe just put 250 if something's already a stage three. And so now you're starting to see, okay, now we're using the money for position management, you know? And so off of the dogs, I mean, we can take them through the whole thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, because it covers basically, you get like 10 sectors in there.
Mm-hmm. And their competitors. And then you start connecting the dots to other things, you know. And then I usually try to add and this is just the way that I teach, is then I start trying to add the 11 sectors of the S&P. So now, and some of those dogs are going to fall right in, right? XLE, that's going to be Chevron, the XLK, that's going to be IBM or Cisco. You know, we can start connecting them. And so now you know the 11 sectors. And if you know the 11 sectors, you could add a 2x or a 3x to that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now we know about 60 fucking things if you're actually aware and, you know, don't get overloaded. But me and you track like 200. We probably, I don't know if you sit and think on that, the number, but it's a pretty big number.
Yeah, it's a lot of stocks.
I mean, what is Yield Max at? 60 fucking things?
My max?
No, Yield Max. How many Yield Max funds are there?
Oh, yeah.
Well, when I started it, you know, because I owned Tesla before I told the group, because I just couldn't understand how the dividend yield could be so big. I was hesitant to show people. But that went from one fucking fund to now what? I can't keep up, man. There's 60 of them. And they just I don't understand how we can just keep adding more. I don't understand. Is it just an unlimited world of selling options? I mean, it seems like there's
selling.
Well, there's too many, right?
Well, I guess if you can do options on every stock.
Yeah. I guess it just, if every, like Defiance keeps adding some that are the same as Yield Max has, I mean, at some point there's just too many goddamn funds.
That's what I'm saying. Like the 2X, like there's T-Rex, there's Granite Shares, there's Direxion, ProShare.
The original ones. I mean, I just use ProShares and Direxion because those have been around most of my time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we came out with these new 2X's on individual stocks. That's all brand new. You know, it's a brand new concept. Yield Max, brand new. And so there's a lot of people that now have been trading for a year, and Yield Max has been there the entire time they've been in the stock market. So to them, these are just stocks. If you think about it.
Yeah, they don't know any different.
They don't know any different. But for 23 years, these have not existed. So to me, these are brand new. You know, Bitcoin's brand new. It's a brand new asset class. And people ask me all the time, did I miss it? And it's like, bro, bonds are 400 years old, and we're buying bonds right now. So there's no missing it. There is no top. There is no bottom. There just is wherever you are with your knowledge to get in the game, right? Yeah. That's the hardest part for me, though, is analyzing this person and trying to figure out what is the best way the money flow would serve this person with their mindset and their agitations and their mental makeup. And it's like, you know, I don't think taking you straight to day trading when I first met you would have been a good idea.
Yeah, no. I didn't really even have an interest.
Right. You didn't have an interest, you know. And I day traded for years, and then I stopped because I was buying houses and I had kids, and I just went to swing trading. That's the thing about the market. It'll accommodate your life. You know, you don't have to make it fit. It'll fit around you if you let it fit around you. That was my giant pitch for why you need to spend more than a fucking 30 minutes day trading. I mean, we should write a Substack. I don't think we should spend more than 10 minutes on it and then go away. Imagine that. We'll write a book, 30 minutes. That's it. That's all it takes. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at one more. We'll look at another stock. That was my rant. And so the point to that is, if you're new, give it time. Understand that it's going to take time. Oh man, look at these. This has been easy trading, dude. Look at this. Stage 3, stage 1. Now we're in a 3. Are you in?
No, I haven't been day trading this whole time.
That's good. But I did want to show you this. You see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Right here, obviously we would have trimmed, right?
Mm-hmm.
That bar, I'm out when it gets below that right there, that candle.
And then the next bar, you're back in?
This one, I might have got back in because it got above the 5. Ideally, I want it to go above that candle, but that would be really far, right?
Mm-hmm.
So right here, I probably would have got back out again, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you got to be okay with that, because then it goes down, down, and then this one holds the 20. And right
Yeah, that's
here,
when we're used to getting back in on the daily, when it goes to the 20.
right. And when it holds the 20, I would get in here with a stop right here. This is, of course, I'm talking day trading here, but it's the same. So when it
Yeah,
tests,
that's where I'd be necessarily looking to add, instead of, like, once you close it out, if the price doesn't hit the 20, I'm not getting back in.
right? So you might not have hit on this
I
one,
might, right. But I'm saying, if you're doing the bar by bar, you are gonna do that though. But if you're just doing pure money flow, like where it hits the 20,
and you take a risk, because that's a big bearish bar right there. It engulfed all the other bars. That tells you this is, so even if I did get in there, I would got in smaller based on this bar.
yeah.
The big, yeah. I'm only looking to add if I've taken shares down. I'm not adding to add. Like I don't consider every pullback or everything that I need to do something. Sometimes I'm just waiting.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to fall into the trap where you feel like you have to do something all the time. Unless, if market's going your way, then, great. Even here, like, so we went down, 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 and you see this one breaks out above it.
Mm-hmm.
I would jump the system and I would get in on that, because this is such a bullish bar. I mean, to me,
Yeah,
that's
it's like the same thing on the 20. It broke it, but came back in. It came back in.
right. And then
And
as
then
soon as we're back on the 5, I'm just assuming we're going to ride it up, And we had the 200 here, right?
right.
So when it went down and rejected lower, that's how I see it, and came right back up, and the black is now above the red bar. It is the exact opposite of this one we were looking at, the other one we were looking at. So to me, that's very positive, and that's obviously just reading bar by bar. Yeah, that just takes time and practice, man. Time and practice. So the swing trades that you jumped in today, mostly medical or biotech.
Yeah, Merck Pharmaceuticals.
Merck. Yeah, I'll
ECC is at the 5.
ECC is a big dividend play. They cut the dividend, didn't they?
That was PSEC. Yeah, I don't know about Eagle.
That was the preferred version. Is that what you're saying? It wasn't the regular fund?
The PSEC cut the dividend. PS, the Prospect Capital Corp.
Yeah. Yeah, they cut the dividend. And I know these guys did something with their Series D shares or something. We don't typically mess with those. Stock Charts doesn't even carry the charts. They're like institutional grade, or, you know, there's different types of shares. You know, some of these have different, they only buy preferred stock, things like that. Really what that's about is if the company went bankrupt, those people get paid before we do. I don't know if you've looked into that much, where there's preferred shares. There's different kinds of shares, you know. That's why you saw Google and them break it up, and they have different class of shares. One class of share has voting rights, the other doesn't. There's things like that, you know. So yeah, I like the ECC there. I mean, dividend yield's nice. We're using it as an anchor fund in our margin dividend income fund, which I think that should be our next pop seminar.
The margin investing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably need to do a whiteboard practice, so I'm not winging it, to break down the concept of the anchors and then the tier 1, 2, and 3. And then the percentages, you know, and, you know, not overthinking that. You don't want to make it like science project, but, you know, the tier 2s are index based, and then the tier, you know, then we get into the yield max, and just understanding the risk, and, you know, trying to explain that, and it's also hard that everybody does margin different. I mean, M1 margin is totally different than E-Trade margin. And you got to make sure that you get the right one for what you're trying to accomplish, right?
Yeah.
I think that's real important. That's why I'll tell people, do a one-on-one with me. It's worth it, because if you do that and you do it the wrong way for what you're trying to accomplish, it's going to be a lot of aggravation, you know?
And lost money.
And lost money. And but for the price of one dividend, you could have sat down with me and I just tell you the right way, or at least what I perceive to be the right way. Yeah, it's you know, also too, I think if you're not comfortable trading and clicking and moving, M1 is probably the way to go, you know?
Yeah.
Even though the M1 setup is kind of complicated at first.
Yeah, at first.
I found it difficult, and it may just because I've only ever known E-Trade.
No,
So
it's like a little weird.
Yeah, with the pies and stuff. I'm confused at times on it, like as far as the pies and stuff.
Yeah, like none of my percentages are right. I just fix it so if
I turned it off so that I can add to individual ones myself. And it doesn't matter about the percentage. You can turn that off, because it to me, it just made everything kind of confusing, you know?
Yeah.
I get what they're doing, and for a hands-off approach, and you want to spread money around, I mean, I love M1, you know. It's a great idea. It's so that's our traits there. Merck, we're breaking out. Pfizer, ECC is a good dividend one. You know, we'll see where the market goes. Oh, where's Bitcoin?
It's like 99, 100.
Dude, I've been on the 100 watch for 2 days.
Yeah, I have the hourly chart up.
I was going to set my computer to just record and the screen to refresh so that I could record hitting 100. I just wanted to document it for MFG.
Yeah, of course.
And when I pass away at my wake, I want them to play that video. People are like, what? I'm like, man, I went through a lot of shit because of Bitcoin. I was taken off fucking Instagram. I got fucking blacked on there because promoting crypto. I got a subpoena from 2 different states from the SEC for people pretending to be me and getting them into Bitcoin schemes. And then I'm on there saying I wouldn't do that. And then there's all these videos of me yelling at people to get into Bitcoin. And so you know, it looked like maybe I was the one, you know, I couldn't get them to understand all these fake accounts. You know, and if I would have never talked about Bitcoin, then there wouldn't be any fake accounts, you know?
Yeah.
And then I brought in over 7,000 people into Coinbase.
Wow. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So I felt like I did a lot for Bitcoin in trying to promote Bitcoin and putting it out there. So to see it succeed and see it win is it, you know, nobody else around me could give a fuck.
Yeah, they don't care.
They don't know how scared I was. I mean, you get a subpoena from the SEC and they're talking about putting you in prison.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And I don't know if you know this, that you don't have to be guilty. They can just put you in prison. They can just do it under conspiracy. You had a conspiracy to commit a crime. You don't even have to commit a crime in the federal system. Just you thinking about it and talking to people about it is enough to lock you up because you had the intent. A lot of people don't know that. They think you have to commit a crime. You don't have to commit a fucking crime. You could just document it in Discord. That's enough to put you in jail.
Yeah.
You know, and so, yeah, I was scared, man, because then, you know, the FTX thing was happening. And they were thinking everyone involved in crypto is a scammer. I couldn't get them to listen to me. You know, they're not going to listen to you. So, yeah, man. And then to see some people do so well, you know, Lisa bought like 3 Bitcoins at the bottom. I mean, to see people do so well, it was a big deal to me. And then I couldn't even celebrate it, man. That's the thing that pisses me off. You know, I couldn't go out and celebrate that happening. Because everyone I know sold their Bitcoin. So what, we're going to go out and celebrate how much money I've made and how broke they are?
Yeah, and then you pay for it.
Right. I mean, and that actually made me sad. Like instead of being happy, it actually kind of flipped in my brain that why did complete strangers listen to me? You know what I mean? And then people who are the closest and know me and right there, not. Like what did I do wrong? Or
It's them.
it's just them, right? I'm expecting because the person who's the stranger is they're looking for what I was saying, right? They're looking like you're wearing a Bitcoin hat. You know, I have a Bitcoin hat, but I have a lot of people close to me don't have any Bitcoin. And I would tell them, you know, and they still, I mean, I don't know. It hurt. I mean, honestly, it kind of hurt. I don't know why I don't know why I had that reaction. I think I had that reaction because I couldn't celebrate it. And then the more I sat and thought on it, it's like, yeah, instead of I can't because all my friends are fucking idiots. You know, and as I start thinking on that, it really pissed me off, man. You know, that 100 grand in that is now $600,000. So the only thing I can think, they didn't believe me because they actually don't think I'm smart. They actually don't believe the work I do.
Or they can't even, they're just not mentally ready to invest and doesn't even have anything to do with you, maybe.
It could be that, you know, maybe that's my own narcissism, but it also is like, and we've talked about this, you being a nurse, and you can look at someone that's just, dude, you are fucking dying. And they won't listen to you.
Yeah.
You know, they obviously have diabetes or about to.
Yeah.
And they're feeling a Big Mac and you're just looking at them and it's someone you love. And they don't want to hear your shit about getting healthy. It hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when they're close to you. It hurts, man. And you feel like maybe you didn't say it the right way or you didn't convince them. But you're right. At the end of the day, it's them.
It's them.
It's them. But then don't whine about being broke. I mean, you know, or don't whine about your diabetes when you get it. I mean, it was obvious you were going to get it, right?
Yeah.
It's like you smoke your whole life and now you can't breathe well. No shit.
Yeah.
So I don't feel sorry, you know? And yet we still do feel sorry. You still feel sorry for people, man. I don't know. It frustrates me. You know? Frustrates me. You know, and then Welby got into fucking Sol, SOL. And his first purchase is 250 fucking grand. And I'm like,
How
and
much
this
does
was,
he have now?
he's up 150,000.
Damn.
But he bought it after the big run up. Imagine if he'd have done that, because I'm up like 700% in
Yeah,
thought.
when he bought it, you could have bought it for $8.
He could have turned that into 2 million. How can you do that? And then you're like, I'm gonna go buy this fourplex and spend 6 months working on it and all that. And all the problems that come with that. When over here you bought this and you just turned it into that and you didn't do anything. You didn't talk to anyone.
Yeah.
I don't know how that doesn't make you addicted to it. But he still didn't have that addiction. I could tell when I was talking to him. But Dan's got it. Dan's been fucking trading.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Futures.
Wow.
I got guys that have been trading 2 years. They're like, can you show me how to do futures? This guy ain't ever traded.
Yeah, Dan trading on Coinbase is fucking hilarious.
Gets on there, clicks some damn buttons, and then he's like, like we were talking about, you do 10 shares. And then he's like, oh, I think I did this wrong. And he sent me a couple texts and I said a few things, and then he made $3,000 fucking swing trading Bitcoin.
Yeah, I remember that.
Blew my mind, dude. And yet I got people right next to me. They're not doing that. And it's like, wow. But Dan is the kind of guy, right? He's that kind of guy. Yeah. Now, I'll end with a funny story about Dan. He would never say this online. If you ever talk to Dan on the phone, that dude is a shark, man. He is a gangster entrepreneur, and he's been at it since the 80s. That's why he's so much richer than me. Well, you know that show where you can bid on storage sheds because people didn't pay their bill?
What?
Have you ever seen that?
Bid on storage sheds?
Yeah, so if you rent a storage facility and you keep stuff in it and you just stop paying your bill, they seize your shit, man. They lock the door. Well, after 90 days or whatever, they can auction it.
Oh, wow.
But you don't know what's in it. So all they do is open the door and they say, bidding begins, $10. Do I see $10? Let me get, and all you can see is that. It may be in the open, it may be in boxes. You're not legally allowed to go in there. So Dan gets into this because he's an entrepreneur. He starts doing that. Anyway, they get an entire thing and it's just boxes. They don't know what's in it. But it's got to be something or they wouldn't pay to store it, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is an entire thing of in the package, in the thing ready to go, finger dildos. Dildos that go on your finger.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently in the gay community, that was a big thing. Lesbians primarily. I've never heard of this. I'm like, what? He goes, yeah.
You have one. You have one. You
They go on your finger. Anyway, they sold all of them and he made a shit ton of money.
That's hilarious.
On finger dildos. His brother's like, oh, we wasted all our money. They're like, what are we going to do? Dan's like, shit, we're putting them online. Putting them on thing. They sold them all out, man. So this guy can make money with anything. So for him to jump into Bitcoin and make $3,000 does not surprise me.
Yeah.
And then I went looking for one of those things because I've never seen one. So the finger thing.
Yeah, I've never seen them.
Yeah, see? How come we've never seen this? Sounds like a great idea. It must not have caught on, but he sold a bunch of them. Hey, man, we'll wrap it up there, man. I appreciate you joining us. And we got started a little late. I had some issues. And so we just thought we'd come on and talk stocks and talk trading. Hope you enjoy our banter and conversation.